Then he broke up with me while I was studying for finals. I'm 25. My boyfriend, Miles, is 32. We were together for 5 years and lived together for almost 3. For most of that time, I thought we were building something real. Not perfect, but real. We had survived bad jobs, my school schedule. I thought we were finally past that. Then, he went to a 3-day desert music festival with his friends. I stayed home because I had exams. Before he left, we were supposed to celebrate our 5-year anniversary. Nothing huge. I just asked him to pick a restaurant and make a reservation. He kept saying he would. Then, he spent 2 weeks planning outfits, camping gear, party supplies, and ride shares for the festival. Can we not make this into a thing right before I leave? Like I usually did, he came home Monday morning, looking like he had not slept. At first, I thought he was exhausted. Then he sat across from me at the kitchen table and said, "I saw my real self out there. I remember closing my laptop." I asked, "I don't think I can be who I'm supposed to be while I'm with you." Not. After 5 years, he said, "I don't know. I just know the version of me that came back is different." Then he started talking about energy, freedom, how routine was killing him. I sat there in sweatpants, surrounded by textbooks and flashcards, while he described our shared life like it was a cage. The worst part is that I understood some of what he meant. We had both been tired. I was finishing my degree while working part-time. He had taken on more household stuff over the last few months because I was buried in school. That was something we agreed on. Like I had personally stolen his youth. You asked me to stay when I was the one questioning this relationship 2 years ago. He looked away because that was true. 2 years ago, I almost left. I felt like his mother, his therapist, his emotional support animal. He begged me to give us a chance. He said relationships go through seasons. So I stayed. Convenient, I asked. He said, "No, Miles, that's exactly what happened." For the next 3 days, he kept changing his mind. In the morning, he loved me and wanted to try. By night, he needed to leave and follow the feeling. One minute, he said we wanted the same life deep down. The next minute, he said my life path was too structured for him. My life path, as if I went back to school, because I loved student debt and panic. I went back because we needed stability. Health insurance mattered. But apparently wanting a stable future made me heavy. Miles is going through a spiritual reset. Please don't guilt him. I almost laughed. A spiritual reset, his sister told me. She did not respond. The actual turning point happened when I found his festival photos. Not snooping. He was showing me pictures on his phone, and a message popped up from a woman named Tessa. The preview said, "Who is Tessa?" Then he said, he said, "You are sitting in our kitchen telling me the universe wants you single while texting another woman about your new life." He insisted nothing physical happened. Maybe that was true. Maybe it wasn't. Because emotionally, he had already packed himself into a different story and made me the obstacle. That night, I stopped begging. I stopped asking if a break would help. I stopped trying to prove I could be adventurous too, because that was another insulting part. He kept acting like I was some boring future wife character who only cared about degrees and bills. But I used to be the one dragging him outside. I wanted travel, art, road trips, slow mornings in weird cities. But somebody had to keep us fed while he found himself every few months and called it growth. The next morning he said, "Good, you can start packing." He looked shocked. He said, "You ended this when you came home and treated 5 years like a bad habit." Then came the guilt. He said I was being cold. He said I was punishing him for being honest. He said, "So was telling me our life made you feel dead." I took my last final 3 days later. I barely remember it, but I passed. Then I called my friend Marissa in San Diego and asked if her spare room was still open. For the first time all week, I cried because someone made something easy for me. Update 1. Miles moved out slowly. Too slowly. He kept saying, "I don't hate you. I just finally believe you." That bothered him more. Not selfish. Update 2. Tessa messaged me. Apparently he told her we had been basically over for months. We had not. 2 weeks before the festival, he was talking about renewing the lease. 3 weeks before that, he asked what kind of dog I wanted after graduation. He was just rewriting the timeline so he could feel cleaner. Update 3. I am leaving next month. Not because I suddenly found myself through some magical revelation. Because I looked around and realized I had been shrinking my life to fit someone who kept calling his selfishness self-discovery. I booked a one-way flight to California. After that, I might travel for a while. Maybe Southeast Asia. Maybe I just need a room where nobody turns my loyalty into a cage. Some people say he had a real awakening. Maybe he did. But I had one too. Mine just happened without neon lights and strangers telling me I was special. I realized I do not have to be the stable place a man returns to after every identity crisis. And I do not have to wait around while someone decides whether loving me is stopping him from becoming himself. So if he needs to find himself without me, fine.